I am going to talk you through my own ethical framework that I created based off of some of the sources that were given to us during this unit and just some of my own thinking and processing. I am recording this during 4th of July weekend, so if my dogs start barking, I'll pause it and pick up, but I might have to stop. So I followed the basic format. So I talked about students, profession, and district. And the way that I like to reflect is through questions. So for students, I said, am I responding in a way that reflects an ethic of care, which is something that I latched onto. And actually, these three, A, B, and C, are all directly from this website right here. The first question, if I'm asking myself this question, I would ask myself, am I seeking to understand students' educational, academic, personal, and social needs, as well as their values, beliefs, cultures, and backgrounds? That's kind of like an idea of, I think, like culturally responsive teaching kind of fits into this section. Am I respecting the dignity, worth, and uniqueness of each individual student, including but not limited to the actual and perceived gender, gender expression, gender identity, civil status, family status, sexual orientation, goes on and on and on and on. Am I establishing and maintaining an environment that promotes the emotional, intellectual, physical, and sexual safety of all students? So the biggest way that I could sum up this section would just be, instead of maybe am I responding in a way that reflects an ethic of care, am I keeping my students safe? So with this crazy world, I see academic goals and personal goals and social needs as highly important, but I also think that it's just really important to keep students safe in our classroom, and students can really only learn and start the academic process if they're feeling respected and safe in their environment. At least that's what I've seen. And for that, you need a strong ethic of care. So when faced with an ethical dilemma, I would first ask myself that. Secondly, I would ask myself, am I fulfilling my professional responsibilities? And for this, I based these 3 points are my own words, and I would think about duty framework, which is outlined on the Brown website. And that framework, plus a little bit of the common good practices, would help me ask myself, am I providing and advocating for equitable, data-driven educational opportunities for all students? Am I seeking opportunities to further my own learning? And am I teaching standards and meeting licensure guidelines? So first of all, with thinking about the duty framework, I would think about Kant's like categorical imperative that is discussed on the Brown website. So am I being rational according to my own reason, which is like kind of convoluted, but basically, am I thinking about the consequences of hypothetical impacts of universal laws? So if I say one thing and turn that into a universal law, does that still check out as true and valid? So holding my students to a fair standard, holding myself and the profession to a standard that can be rational according to our own reason. Again, a little bit wishy-washy, but I like thinking about categorical imperatives to help find rules that kind of make sense, I guess. So for the common good practices, which is sprinkled in there a little bit as well, Plato and Rousseau talked about emphasizing contributing to respect and compassion for all students, which is the providing and advocating for equitable, data-driven educational opportunities for all students. And they specifically called out the vulnerable students. So what impacts do those students specifically have from these hypothetical categorical imperatives that I would discuss? I don't know why I keep saying we when I'm talking about myself. Anyway, the third one would be talking about the district. So am I contributing productively to my professional environment? And I would think about the rights approach, which is, all of these approaches are flawed in different ways, different scenarios, but the rights approach, I think as a district, as a school building, even as a department, It's important to think about protecting the rights of the individuals that are impacted by our work.